Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Cobern, and today's episode is the top 5 quarterbacks according to analytics. And the 3 analytics that we're going to be looking at today is 1, age, 100% of multiple All-Pro quarterbacks since the 1983 NFL draft class were at least 23.5 or less on draft day. We're also going to be looking at the high school production score, which takes into account completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio compared to all their peers since the 2007 NFL draft class specifically. And then we're also going to be looking at their collegiate production with the complete QB stat score, which takes into account things such as the touchdown interception ratio, completion percentage, and strength of schedule for the FBS level of competition. And that particular metric goes all the way back to the 1958 NFL draft class. That's right, kids. Fran Tarkenton, all those guys. So it includes all those players, and that is the other metric that we're going to be having emphasis on for this particular top 5 group. So we will begin now. Starting with number 5 is Baker Mayfield, quarterback out of Oklahoma. When it comes to his age, he's going to be 23.05 on draft day, which fits in line with the age that he needs to hit in terms of high quality outcomes. And when it comes to high school production and college production, scored 92.41 in terms of his high school production score, which is very good, hits the Pro Bowl level of high school production. And when it comes to his college production, scored 94.08 when it comes to his collegiate production, which is also All-Pro level. So he hits every single production metric that you want, that you're thinking about when it comes to him. And I know that there's lots of people who doubt Baker Mayfield, who don't think he's an NFL quarterback and don't believe he has a shot to be much of anything at the NFL level. I'm definitely going to be diving into his film either sometime this week or next week or in the coming months. Because when you look at the data profile of him and you see those production, you see the age, and you see all those other sort of factors, it just shows good things. So I'm very excited to get into Baker Mayfield's film. I think from a data perspective, he hits all the things that you want in terms of his profile, and we will see what happens in the future. But I think this is a guy who has a lot of positives in his profile to suggest a high quality player, and hopefully that's what we'll see on film. At number 4, we have Mason Rudolph, quarterback out of Oklahoma State. When it comes to his high school production, he scored 97.92, which is very, very high in terms of high school production. Hits all the marks that you want in terms of a Pro Bowl quarterback. And when it comes to his collegiate production, scored 81.62 out of 100, which hits the bare minimum for Pro Bowl production at the college level. This is something that could improve this year, just so everybody knows. This is a number that he could come out this year and hit 90s in that area in terms of his production. But as of right now, 81.62 isn't exactly as good as the other players that are on this list, nor does he have the age. He's only 22.79, so he's a little older. It's not that bad that it kind of knocks him completely out of potential All-Pro or Pro Bowl level outcomes, but it is, but he is a guy who's a little long in the tooth. So we should expect good things from him going forward. I expect good things, but I do think that there are a couple question marks. But overall, he has a very solid profile as a potential Pro Bowl quarterback already, and that's why he's on this list at 4. At number 3, a surprise guy to hear here, of course, in Jake Browning, quarterback out of Washington. Now, before you rant and go, no way, what are you talking about, Jake Browning? Oh, Jake Browning, oh, he's so bad. Listen, in terms of high school production, he scored 96.221, and in terms of college production, he scored 89.51, which is almost at the All-Pro level of collegiate efficiency. So before you guys start to say that Jake Browning doesn't have a shot, Jake Browning doesn't have the arms, Jake Browning is just Jake Browning is that. Before you get into all that stuff, you have to understand that Jake Browning has all the marks that you're looking for at the high school production and the college production to potentially become a high-quality NFL player. Now, I'll definitely be diving into his film to see what the concerns are, what are some things that people seem to not like about Jake Browning, to see if there's anything to worry about, like if there's something inflating his statistics, if there's something that is making him look better than he really is in terms of his college production. But the bottom line is that high school production and college production are there, indicating someone that can become a high quality starter, and you don't ignore that. That's how Tom Brady happens. That's how Dak Prescott happens. That's how a lot of those quarterbacks happen. Russell Wilson even happen, is when you just go, he's not very good, or oh, I don't like him because of this and that, when they actually do have lots of positives from a data perspective. And then you put on the film and you see, hey, he meets all the stuff that you want. So we'll definitely see what happens with Jake Browning in the future. If he improves on these numbers and gets even better in terms of college efficiency. And he may not be a good player, maybe. He may not translate. There are some players who hit all the high school stuff and hit all the college stuff and don't really translate to the NFL that well. But I do think that there's a lot of positives here with Jake Browning to suggest that he could become a potential long-term starter based on his data, to even better, a Pro Bowl level player. So I know some of you guys are surprised, but he's on the list because he scored really well in terms of those two particular metrics. At number 2, we have Josh Rosen, quarterback out of UCLA, the chosen Rosen. When it comes to his high school production, he scored 90.09 out of 100, and college production scored 83.06 out of 100. The only reason why Josh Rosen is here is because his college production doesn't hit All-Pro level at 83.06. And before you start screaming at me and getting into my comment section saying, oh, he was injured. I do understand he was injured. But it doesn't matter if he was injured or not. The bottom line is that he hasn't put up a All-Pro season yet. He could do that this year. That's kind of the point of this preview, is that potentially he could perform a lot better and end up in that All-Pro level and could, rise over the next player on the list. But I do think that you have to look at him with some bit of sanity and composure and realize that, hey, high school production hit what it needed to hit, but the college production just isn't matching up with that in terms of really, really high quality outcomes. I still think he has Pro Bowl potential. He's going to be 21 years old on draft day if he enters this year, so there's lots of positives from that perspective. But I do think that you have to understand that in terms of his college production, he hasn't exactly hit All-Pro level yet. And until he hits that level, I'm not comfortable projecting him to be that type of player. At number 1 is Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC. Surprised? I don't think so. Based on his high school production, he scored 84.35 out of 100, which hits all the marks that you're looking for in terms of Pro Bowl or All-Pro quarterbacks. And in terms of collegiate production, he has the highest complete QB stat score in the entire class coming in to 2018 with a 96.99 overall complete QB stat score, which is rounded up to 97. The computer did that. He hits all the marks that you're looking for when it comes to that position. Impressive player on film. I already did a film analysis or review of a couple positives trait-wise on a previous video, but he's the number 1 quarterback. As much as there's people that are going to be in the comment section saying Rosen's so much better, Rosen's so much better, Rosen has not had a complete QB stat score of 96.99 or higher yet. Until Rosen does that, Sam Darnold is going to be number 1. It's Sam Darnold's world, people. Josh Rosen just happens to be living in it. So as much as there are Josh Rosen fans out there, and I like Josh Rosen as well, the bottom line is Josh Rosen just hasn't put up the type of production that Sam Darnold has put up. That could change this year. Rosen could have an amazing junior season, of course, but as of right now, a 96.99 score is going to be pretty difficult to beat, to say the least. This concludes the top 5 best quarterbacks in the 2018 NFL Draft Class based on the data / analytics. My name is James Cobern. You can find my work at draftcobern.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. If you like this content, if you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. That helps me out tremendously to get my voice out there, to get you guys to see this information. Share it as well with friends and family, all that kind of stuff. And leave a comment as well. Who do you think are the best quarterbacks in the 2018 NFL Draft Class? Again, this is the data / analytics. Data isn't everything. There's going to be some film reviews coming up looking at some of the quarterbacks I mentioned today and some other quarterbacks I'm going to mention in other videos. But this is just to get that out there, that these are the 5 that have the best potential to be special players of the NFL. And I would highly recommend all you guys check out these players first before you get into some other players who have less likely chances of being really successful players, just to help you out film-wise and time-wise. You know, again, everybody, the point of data, in my opinion, is to look at what the indicators are for special players and look at all the players who hit those indicators from a film perspective, to give you easier insight, to basically make your job easier. Instead of having to watch hundreds of quarterbacks or 50 quarterbacks every year and have to sit through quarterbacks who realistically have almost zero shot to become anything special, why not even do that at all? Just look at the data, look at the quarterbacks who hit the marks that need to hit, and then look at the film and see if that matches up. And that's exactly the point of data/analytics. So again, my name is James Cobern, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.